Hello and welcome to our recap video for 2013. In an attempt to prove that we totally did not waste all of last year's time, we will list down 8 features that we implemented since the Tech Demo++. Be prepared for a lot of in-game footage. Oh, and of course be aware that everything shown in this video might change in a final version, hopefully for the better. Our first feature is an integral part of any RPG, cutscenes and dialogues. As you might remember, the Tech Demo++ skipped right to the gameplay. There were no characters and no scenario. The only information that you got was relevant for gameplay and shown in text boxes. That's not a very common style for an RPG, now is it? Our current version starts off with a cutscene introducing our protagonist Leah, as well as other characters. As you might notice, Leah is not a very talkative character. However, she has a personality that we want to express. Since text is not an option to do so, we use facial expressions instead. And not only for Leah, but also for many other characters in the game. Of course, for all the players who don't feel like taking in walls of text, we have the option to skip cutscenes. Also, lots of dialogues are shown as side messages that run in parallel to the gameplay. Our second feature is also something that shouldn't be missing in any RPG: NPCs. Now, we didn't have any NPCs in the Tech Demo++, but we still wanted to give the player some hints. So how did we do it? Again, text boxes, whether you needed them or not. In the current version, you can talk to an NPC to get a hint, or if you find by yourself, well, there is no reason to ask that. Since the movements of our NPCs are based on a pathfinding algorithm, they do pretty well at navigating their surroundings. Plus, if the player or another NPC is in their way, they will politely move around them. We tested NPC movement in pretty crowded scenarios, and it works pretty well. It's not quite like Assassin's Creed, but it works well enough for us. Third feature. Well, not sure if you can call it a feature, but we extended our plot and scenario. So once we leave the underground by elevator, we see new places and meet new people. For instance, Captain Jet, who is in charge of the whole place. So it turns out that the whole beginning of the game is on board of a huge cargo ship with the name MS Solar. Also on board are a number of talkative NPCs. Otherwise, this new area is still work in progress. Our next feature is a rather big one, the menu system. Our menu comes pretty close to what you would expect from an RPG. You can look at your status, manage your equipment, learn your skills, and so on. Currently already implemented is the equipment menu, where you can put on items to prepare yourself for battle. Changes in your parameters are displayed for each selected item immediately. Now we have a number of combat-related features, the first on being close combat. Close combat adds some variation to all that ball throwing we had up to this point. It is especially useful for combat in narrow space and can be combined with dashing. Next up, we have a more defensive option for combat with guarding. Guarding helps to reduce the damage and avoid the stun of many attacks. However, it only works for the front, so we have to make sure we look into the right direction when guarding. This makes it pretty hard to guard when surrounded by enemies like here. Another feature relevant for combat and also for puzzles are element modes. Feature elements are cold, shock, heat, and wave. You will be able to change your element at any point in the game, and your parameters and battle skills will adapt accordingly. Changing the element during combat is essential to make use of your enemy's weaknesses. In addition, they will be used to solve certain puzzles later on. Up to this point, we only have some nice combat effects for you to enjoy. And the last feature for this video is battle tags. To do a battle tag during combat, you first need to charge up. You can do this by holding the spacebar or the right trigger on your gamepad. What kind of battle tag you perform depends on what you do during charging and how long you charge. For example, if you happen to aim during charging, you will perform a very strong ball throwing move. And if you charge without aiming, you will perform a strong close combat attack. For the future, we also plan to add more battle tags for guarding and dashing. And these are all the features we have for you. Or are they? Now actually, we do have two more pieces of news for you. Firstly, you remember how CrossCode is played in the browser, being an HTML5 game and all? Well, we recently found a way to publish CrossCode as a desktop application, running smoothly with almost no loading times. Thanks to node-webkit, we can easily port CrossCode for Windows, Mac and Linux. And secondly, since about a couple of months, RadicalFishGames has become an officially registered Wii U developer, and you probably guessed where this is going. It's CrossCode on a Wii U! And this now finally concludes our recap video for 2013. As you can see, our focus in 2013 was clearly on new features. For this year, we hope to finally get more content in the game. You can look forward to new places, characters, enemies and boss battles. And if everything goes well, expect a new demo release as well as a crowdfunding event towards the end of 2014. Until then, you can always follow only progress on our blog, Facebook, Twitter, yada yada. Links are in the description. And finally, thanks a lot for watching our video to the very end.